Ciao a tutti, bentornati sul mio canale e benvenuti a Trani. Ci siamo trasferiti a Trani un mese fa. Voglio conoscere questa città meglio. Ho pensato, come posso conoscere meglio la città? Quindi mi sono ricordata degli amici, Lish e Abbey, e ho deciso di chiederglielo.
Let us begin.
Okay.
You guys just did that super coordinated, by the way.
It's the dancers in us. Hi, I'm Abby. I'm a trend forecaster in fashion and design.
Hi, I'm Lish, and I'm the food person. I've done everything from working in restaurants to food styling to Emmy-winning culinary producing.
And together
We make up the Taste Curators.
And we're basically merging our industries together with food, fashion, and design, and showing everybody how we're all connected with that and how we're all kind of have that in our day-to-day lives. Your whole world opens up to you that you didn't even know existed.
Abby, ever since I've met you, of course, through Lish, I've been like so intrigued by like what is trend forecasting? Like that's a thing and like that's a job people have.
Trend forecasting is just, it's predicting what is going to be happening culturally and through fashion, food, design, etc. to 1.5 to 2 years in advance.
Yeah. It's like, have you seen The Devil Wears Prada?
Oh yeah.
Of course, right? The speech that Meryl Streep gives about the cerulean blue sweater and how the 5 people in this room decided that color for you.
Yes.
She's the 5 people in that room. This connection of everyone around the world based on fashion, design, and food, basically, because everyone's surrounded by that on a daily basis, whether we realize it or not.
So they gave me an assignment to walk around Trani with open eyes. Here are Abby's tips.
Number 1, I think you should put your phone in airplane mode. Tip 2, look up and look down, because we're so focused on looking out. Tip 3, zoom in. So much should be seen when you zoom in. Patterns, textures, things get revealed.
Get close.
It's like doing a Zoom with your parents.
Yeah. So tip 4 is just to kind of hone in that intuition and the synchronicity, see how things are connecting together, or like what's repeating, keep seeing. And then tip number 5 is to have fun.
Whatever the produce bins are that are at your local tiny stall, you know, and maybe those colors will reveal themselves somewhere else along your walk, and like we can base a dish off of that. But based on the color palette that most of your findings are on, I'll take that and kind of incorporate it into some kind of dish that's like based in the Trani roots, basically. It's like,
I'm
yes,
so excited, oh my god.
I know, me too.
I walked around my city doing the same loop that Connor and I do basically every day. I wasn't really seeing anything for the first time, and yet I was noticing so many things for the first time. Repeating colors, textures, patterns. I brought my walkabout findings back to Abby and Lish, and they helped me make sense of it all.
Should we just like hop into it then?
Let's dive in, why not?
Yeah.
Let's dive in.
I liked starting out as a pulled out scene just to see the town as a whole, and then the fun part is you to like go in and kind of see all the details up close. And I wanted to start out with the neutrals because it seems that most of the town has this beautiful textured neutral shades, kind of reminiscent of pasta colors. That's, you know, kind of the grounding, the building to the town.
Oh, I love how the curtain is coming out and over the balcony. And I said it also reminds me of pasta drying, like being hung over something. A little bit of an ombre effect. Different colors kind of melting into each other. So you kind of are consistently changing a color, but through kind of a layered effect. And I mean, you could do a whole story on just arches, I feel like, from your town, you know, and all the textures and patterns. It's so cool. I like the cutouts. The idea of positive and negative shapes, that's usually another design element. And just sometimes you're looking at what's taken away, and that actually makes a shape in and of itself instead of what's actually there. And also I love below that arch, you've got the wrought iron again, and then some are missing. And I think that's a cool little detail. I've never seen that kind of balcony before, the shape. And it kind of reminds me of like folklore elements as well. It's just really gorgeous. I've never seen that on a balcony before.
It actually reminds me, do you know Corsetti? Have you run into that in Italy?
No.
So it's a type of pasta, but it's a stamp. And it used to be that like each family had its stamp. So you could tell who made the pasta by the family stamp.
Yeah, we're talking about how beautiful this balcony is, because it is. But if you were to look at it almost more passing or whatever, it kind of looks shabby, like a little run down, that it's like appreciating these things.
Saying is true that, you know, one man's treasure is another man's trash, or one man's trash is another man's treasure. And I just think there's beauty in everything.
In these old towns, I mean, there's so much history there. And I absolutely appreciate the fact that they hold on to that. The love that went into making that town, really, you know?
I think this is where the intuition thing comes in. I just like looked up and I saw that with the lamp and then, yeah, this building. And so now I'm gonna be having my eyes out for things that are evocative of that. On this corner that I'm on right now, I am seeing the same shade of blue, 3 places all around me. Let's see. 1, that arrow. 2, this door. 3, that sky.
It was a cool color blocking moment where you've got your blues, and even the framing of the blue creates another color blocking moment, and then you've got the other half of the gate with a gray.
And the fruit truck. Then I came to the port and realized that there's this blue absolutely everywhere.
Anyways, and then you had your match in your surroundings in that video, which just so matching your surroundings, always a fun thing. Exciting, because I feel like that when you catch a moment like that, it just feels like this special little moment that you have all to yourself, and like it's like you stumbled upon a unicorn for a hot second.
Okay, something I'm really realizing is that there is a lot of green accents in this city. What you're seeing behind me. My glasses like that.
Wow. Oh my God. Look at all those greens.
Yeah.
Whatever that variety of tomatoes were that were hanging were like a really orangey tomato. And I just spotted some sheets hanging the same orange. This is so fun. I'm loving it. And now I'm suddenly noticing that this door behind me has a bit of this orangey tint as well. Am I making things up? No, I don't know.
But in my mind, in my world, it all works.
Okay.
All the same thing.
I'm going with it.
This is so cool. It's so fun. I'm like seeing things with fresh eyes, places I've walked by a ton of times already. I'm like seeing new things. This is really fun.
It's like a sixth sense, and you have to have it on, and you just have to be wide-eyed and ready to go.
Quale vuoi?
Bellissima.
So I'm thinking of playing on the neutrals, being, playing with the pasta and especially that drape that was hanging over the edge. So maybe sticking with like a pappardelle, and then going with the oranges and the greens, because blue is a little tough with food. So
Right.
we're gonna use some of those little tomatoes if you can. Just toss them with a lot of olive oil, salt, some pepperoncino, some garlic, and torn up basil leaves, and roast those until they're kind of soft and starting to pop. The broccoli rabe at the end got me thinking that since that's so abundant in your marketplace, that we should totally take advantage of that, especially since we both share the love of the bitter green.
Beautiful bunch of broccoli rabe. It's like a bouquet. Going in boiling water that's been heavily salted.
Blanch it really quick, rough chop it, and pulse it in a food processor. And then to add flavor to it, so it's a little bit more like a pesto, warm up some olive oil, just barely sweat out some garlic to bring out the sweetness. And then toast up some anchovy in there so that you bring out the nuttiness of it, and that brings in the sea element. So there's our blue. See, look what we did there. And then drizzle that into the broccoli rabe and puree it until it's kind of like a pesto. You might need a little bit of water to loosen it too, but you know, make a nice pesto with it. And then cook off your pasta. Put the tomatoes in a pan with a little bit of the pasta water, maybe a nubbin or two of butter or a good drizzle of olive oil, and emulsify that. Toss your pasta in there with the pasta water, obviously, and the tomatoes. Make that beautiful, glossy, silky sauce.
It's already turning out so well. Should I share it with Connor? I don't know. What do you think?
And then plate it. If you have a black plate, that could tie in all the wrought iron work.
Some of that crispy basil doesn't hurt.
Plate that with lots of movement so that you see the pappardelle and, you know, ribboning over itself. Put some of those beautiful pops of orange in there and then dollop it with the broccoli pesto. And of course, a good showering of Parmigiano Reggiano, because it wouldn't be an
Italian
dish.
We're also making the Italian flag colors, no?
Kind of, yeah.
Red, green.
There it is.
Moment of truth. Here we go.
Cheers!
Cheers.
The sweet pops of tomato, spicy pepperoncino, and that little kiss of the sea from the anchovy and the pesto.
And all the pops of color.
I've never been happier that you live in Trani.
Seriously, we can't wait to visit you.
That's clutch.
I'll see you back here next week. And in the meantime, don't forget to keep it quirky or state particolari, I think. Any Italian speakers want to help me out with that? Keep it quirky. Bye!